The ever exquisite and likely the most well planned city in India, Chandigarh takes you on a mystical journey through its namesake Chandi Mandir. The city Chandigarh is named after this temple and it depicts the literal meaning of being the citadel of Chandi, the goddess of supreme power. The temple also enshrines the idols of Radha Krishna along with Lord Shiva, Hanuman, and Lord Rama. Chandi Mandir is situated at a distance of 15 kilometers from the city borders. Chandi Mandir is a Siddhipitha believed to fulfill all the wishes of those who visit this temple with holy intentions. The aura of divinity exuded by the deity of the temple is so soothing and captivating that the devotees come from different states of India for the visit of Mother in Chandi Mandir. Situated in the lap of Shivalik hills, Chandi Mandir is believed that it dates back to the Mahabharata times, thus making it one of the oldest temples in this region. Chandi Devi temple was built by Adi Shankaracharya in the 8th century AD, is one of the most ancient temples in North India. It was made to keep the goddess among the mortal and welcome her back again. It was decided only later that the city will be named after the temple. Museum Art Gallery. Situated in the heart of the city, planned by Le Corbusier and very close to the city center in the beautiful view of the Shivalik range of mountains. The museum has a very sprawling and spread out campus, on one side of which is located Government College of Art. Established in 1968, the Government Museum and Art Gallery with unique architecture was set up to encourage appreciation of values embedded in art and bring it close to the lives of people through interpretation of its rich collection and innovative programs. It is one of the main buildings out of the three located in the museum complex of the city. It showcases the collection of miniature paintings by Rajasthanis, stone sculptures, and other traditional artifacts. It was established after the partition. Most of the artifacts displayed here were earlier preserved in the Central Museum of Lahore and then capital of Punjab. On April 10, 1948, the division of the collection took place, by which about 60% of objects were retained by Pakistan, and the remaining 40% collection, which consisted mainly of Gandharan sculptures and Indian miniature paintings, fell in the share of India. Received in April 1949, this collection was first housed in Amritsar, then Shimla, Patiala, and finally shifted to Chandigarh. The museum was inaugurated on the 6th of May 1968 under the initiative and active support of late Dr. M.S. Randhawa, a renowned connoisseur, patron of art, and the then Chief Commissioner of Chandigarh. Later, a few other buildings were added because of the growing need for the museum's expansion. Le Corbusier Museum. Architecture is the masterly correct and magnificent play of masses brought together in light by Le Corbusier. Chandigarh was planned by the famous Swiss-French architect Le Corbusier. The museum Le Corbusier Center was built to honor his contributions to the forming of the city of Chandigarh and to keep his memory alive. The Le Corbusier Center was planned and inaugurated by H.E. General Retired S.F. Rodrigues on October 6, 2008, in Sector 19B, Chandigarh. It displays all his works and contributions not only to Chandigarh but also to other countries like Japan, America, and others. His office, where Le Corbusier and his team of architects conceived the designs, was transformed into a museum which got established on 26 October 2008. Le Corbusier was the most influential urban planner and architect of 20th century. He was widely hated as a visionary for his imaginative plans for urban spaces with modernist and utilitarian designs. Le Corbusier and his cousin and co-architect Pierre Gendre became the designers and town planners of the city of Chandigarh to realize Nehru's vision of a new city symbolizing the spirit of a free India. His work was so poignant and remarkable that even after half a century of his death, he is widely quoted and appreciated. The Le Corbusier Center aims to preserve and display the archival material, documents, paintings, and photographs related to the making of the city of Chandigarh. Pierre Gendre Museum, House number 57, Sector 5, Chandigarh. The first ever house built in Chandigarh was that of Pierre Gendre, the home of the city's first chief architect is located in Sector 5, house number 57, opposite to the famous Sukna Lake. To honor his contribution and keep his memory alive, his house was converted into a museum which was inaugurated on March 22, 2017, on his 122nd birthday. Pierre Gendre lived in this house for 11 years while he and his cousin, the much renowned Le Corbusier, were building the city. So, to understand this house is also in a way understanding the city's architectural vision. The 1950s were an exciting time for India, laying the foundation for a modern city. Jawaharlal Nehru had once said, "There comes a time which comes but rarely, when the soul of the nation long suppressed finds utterance." Pierre Gendre was also a keen observer of the local lifestyle. His preference for local materials and consideration of local needs resulted in him designing furniture pieces as well. The residence building of Pierre Gendre, now converted into a museum, is a two-storied building with ample outdoor space and expansive broad balconies with latticed brick screens. The ground floor houses an office, a living room, and a kitchen, with a dining area and a huge windows bringing in the sunlight as well as view of the greenery outside. Open Hand Monument. Standing at a height of 26 meters from the ground, the Open Hand Monument is part of Sector 1 of the Capitol Complex in the beautiful city of Chandigarh. It was built by the famous architect Le Corbusier. The Open Hand Monument is one of the most notable structures in the city. It consists of a hand-like structure standing on a trench that rotates like a weathercock with the flow of the wind. Made up of metal sheets, is an excellent example of the avant-garde art of the period. It weighs around 50 tons. Unlike a weathercock, though, this hand-like structure holds the special significance of conveying a social message to the world. Many say that the shape also resembles that of a dove, which heightens the symbolic meaning to include peace and happiness. Le Corbusier designed the open hand to convey the message of openness of ideas and peace and unity. Le Corbusier planned to erect the open hand against the scenic background of the Himalayas. With no government approval forthcoming, he even tried to raise funds from corporates. It was 20 years in 1985 after Le Corbusier's death in 1965 that the open hand, his dream project, was realized. Sukna Lake. Nestled at the foot of Shivalik Hills, The man-made scenic Sukna Lake in Chandigarh paints a pretty picture. It is an idyllic place for quiet communion with nature and for offering water sports activities such as boating, yachting, water skiing, etc. The creation of lake was one of the greatest gifts from Le Corbusier and P.L. Varma, chief engineer. To preserve its tranquility, Corbusier insisted that it be forbidden to motorboats and the top of the dam promenade prohibited to vehicular traffic. Sukna is an inseparable part of the city. Le Corbusier had foreseen that the residents of the city would be drawn to it for the care of the body and spirit. According to his words, now every day, even before dusk, you can see people of all ages here walking, jogging, running, sprinting, etc. At the walking track, the city planners were greatly attached to the lake, so much so that the Pierre Genrik's ashes were immersed in the lake in 1970 as per his wishes by his niece. Sukna is a sanctuary for many exotic migratory birds like the Siberian duck, storks, and cranes during the winter months. The lake has been declared as a protected national wetland by Government of India. Sukna Lake is the venue for many festive celebrations too. The most popular is the Mango Festival held during the monsoons when scores of varieties of mangoes are on display. From time to time, other food festivals featuring specialties from the different Indian states are also held here along with cultural performances. There is no dearth of skilled artisans and craftsmen in our country, and Hunar Haat will provide ample economic opportunities to them by Mahatma Gandhi. He said that this event provides a huge platform for India's traditional and ancestral art and crafts, which were on the verge of extinction. Organized by Union Ministry of Minority, Hunar Haat is an initiative for uplifting artisans and showcasing their craft, food and culture. Punjab Governor and UT Administrator Banwari Lal Purohit inaugurated the 39th Hunar Haat at Parade Ground on March 27 in Sector 17. More than 720 artisans and craftsmen from 31 states and UTs participate in this 10-day fair that will continue till April 3rd, 2022. Hunar Haat has provided employment opportunities to more than 8.5 lakh indigenous artisans and craftsmen and other people associated with them for the last 7 years. Over 50% of these beneficiaries are women artisans. At Vishwakarma Vatika, the main attraction of Hunar Haat, artisans will display live demonstrations of how traditional indigenous products are created.